on News Talk.
Off the ball.
In association with Air. Watch every UEFA Champions League and Europa League game on the Air Sport Pack.
This is News Talk.
You're very welcome along. It's Monday night here on Off the Ball. It's Joe here. We've got Monday Night Rugby with Owen Redden and Eddie O'Sullivan coming up after 8 o'clock. GAA is back, as you all know, I'm sure. Anthony Nash, the Cork goalkeeper, here in studio just before 7:30 or so. We're talking Tiger and Rory McIlroy with Lawrence Donegan. Good early signs from both across the weekend. Pat Nevin on the football show after 9. And Padraig Amond, who scored against Spurs for Newport at the weekend, is back on the football show. He was on a few weeks ago and he scored, so we're hoping to give him a good look again before the replay next Wednesday at Wembley. Ken Kilban is here. Hello, Kevin.
Hi, Joe. All good?
All good. Richie McCormick wearing a woolly hat indoors under lights. But
Actually,
that's
why
fine.
not? Yeah. Got a bang on his head, apparently, yeah.
He did, yeah.
He wasn't out at the weekend or anything like that, no, just because he's 6'5".
But if you're wondering why Richie is wearing a woolly hat indoors, it is because he actually did get a nasty bang on the
ding in the old head there.
Oof, yeah. Ouch, sore. So you're all very welcome along. We've much to get through. So with Pat Nevin on the football show, I'm sure we will touch on VAR, Kev.
Yeah.
It strikes me one of the big issues for VAR is that its name lends itself to brilliant headlines of doom so readily. So I give you, what a farce, Varsicle, a bridge too far.
VAR.
Sorry.
He's pronounced them correctly, Joe.
Below VAR, it's VAR Crash TV.
Superb.
So VAR so bad, total varnage, and my favourite, shove it up your varse.
So have these actually been official headlines in the newspaper, or are these kind of things that the lads have made up earlier on in the office?
We did a brainstorm session outside, but there have been lots of them on the papers as well.
Right.
If there were still jobs going as sub-editors and papers, would be away in a hack here.
Yeah.
So it's got a PR problem now, Varse.
Yeah,
Yeah. VAR. It's got a big PR problem, VAR. How bad was this at Anfield?
Well, I was listening to the paper review yesterday. Again, excellent, Joe, as it always is. But the lads, what they were saying, ultimately, the decisions that they came to were correct, and they were. Yeah. But Philip Quinn touched on something that I was with him totally on it. It just took far too long to come to the decisions. And one of the replays showed it quite clearly to start with. Was it I think it was the Mo Salah one. It was the penalty. Yeah. Mo Salah was brought down for the penalty. Clearly showed it quick. It was and
if people didn't see it, he got a slight drag on his jersey.
But it was a foul, and within 15 seconds, I think it was the first replay showed it was a penalty. They took ages. They kept it. So in total, I think it was about 4 minutes for one decision it took. Yeah. 4 minutes, over 4 minutes, one decision. Another one. In all, I'd say it was well over or nigh on 10 minutes for every decision. Now, that's a long time taken out of a game, I think. And it's been said to me that football fans are less educated than rugby fans. I'm not so sure about that, Joel, to be quite honest with you. But I don't want football to go down that road of taking that long to make a decision, and I don't think it's necessary.
Don't you have to be forgiving of this at the start? Like, I thought Jurgen Klopp came out and at the wrong end of certain decisions here. I thought Klopp, after the game, you'll hear him here speaking to the BBC, I thought this was exactly the right, calm, measured attitude to this thing rather than the crazy headlines.
Yeah.
What did you make of it, particularly the time it took to get to the decisions?
Well, look, that's normal. If it's the first time, it's new, and it was two very difficult decisions. But of course, the video assistant ref was not the reason why we lost tonight. Yes, it breaks the rhythm. Yeah, of course, it should be a little bit quicker, but at the end, it's completely normal at the beginning that it takes time. So, how is that? Not the reason.
There's a couple of major issues at play, though. One of them is the lack of a screen at Anfield in the first instance, but there's several other Premier League grounds or football grounds that don't have big screens, so the action or the replays aren't conveyed, and what the video referee is looking at isn't conveyed to the fans, and there's not as much communication.
As I understand it, they're not going to show those replays even at the grounds with screens.
Well, that doesn't make sense, but also what you're finding out now is how many of football's rules are open to interpretation. With the brilliance of video replays with cricket and with tennis is that so much what you're looking at to ascertain is whether or not it's gone over the line, whether or not it was heading for an LBW. With this, you're still at the reliance of somebody going, I don't know, for me it was a penalty, but
there's a lot of breaks in those sports though, Rich. That's the thing. I think certainly tennis, it has a lot of breaks, and cricket certainly does, rugby certainly does at times. you can stem the whole flow of a team's momentum by. If you're looking at Liverpool are like a momentum team. If they're going to go on the attack, it's attack after attack. They gain momentum through that, and all of a sudden it can kill that momentum. It can actually kill a game. It can kill a game to the supporter that's watching it as well. So that's why I think they need to get it. They need to get it sorted to try to quicken it up. They've got to do tests on how they're going to quicken it up and how they're going to make it a lot more.
That seems very manageable to me, though.
It does to me. That's the way that I would think.
So they'll get there, I presume, fairly quickly.
Yeah, I think Klopp's probably right to think, look, there are going to be a few mistakes that will be made. It will take a little bit more time.
But if you've got, like, they're talking about bringing it in Russia next year for the World Cup, and one of the main driving factors behind that was at the FIFA, the executive, his role escapes me at the moment, but he was quoted as saying that they're already looking actively at sponsorships for it. Yeah. So if you're looking for sponsorships for it, the main thing for this is going to be making sure whatever sponsor's logo gets in, not necessarily the expediency of the decision.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. It's a great point, that.
Ivor O'Sullivan on Twitter, VAR is a joke. Salah made a meal of it. There'll be a penalty every single corner if that's a penalty.
No, but it is, though. It's a foul. I get it. It did, but it was a foul. You could see it. He was dragged, and he's going to go over very easy.
I have to say, I know when Craig Pawson ran over to have a look at that drag, and I know he did put his hand on his jersey and there was half a drag, and I appreciate you saying, look, it's a foul, but a part of me was thinking, oh, is it enough though? Salah's barely felt him and just taken a bit of a dive. The force of the drag did not correlate with the Salah falling. The
first replay though, you could see it clearly though, couldn't you? You could see the arm around. That was the thing that I saw straight away, and it looked to me, it's
open to interpretation though.
It's open to interpretation, but Joe, I've been probably in that position where you're attacking the far post at times, and you'll have a defender or a right back going up against you that will literally just stop you from jumping. It's clear obstruction at times.
Fair enough.
The referee rarely would ever see it.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with it, and he has seen it. He's been told that it is a foul. Another thing as well, I think the referee has got to put more trust in the VAR. I think he's got to listen to what they're saying to him without necessarily having to go to review a lot of the decisions. Put trust in what they're actually saying to him. Look, that's a penalty, that's a free kick, that's whatever it would be. That's what I think as well.
We'll touch on it later on with Pat Nevin as well. VAR will improve, says Gonzo.
I think it will. I think that's fair to say, yeah.
Rugby League has had this for 23 years. And then a text in saying, hi Kevin, was that you and Clonus yesterday? Yes, it was.
Yes, it was, yeah.
This is Peg and Loud. If so, did you feel you were at a soccer game with all the diving?
Was there? Oh, a lot of Monaghan supporters that were sat around me. Yeah, they were saying that all the Mayo players. They said David Goff was letting the referee. David Goff was letting a lot of the Mayo players away with murder, and he was punishing all the Monaghan players. When it was a physical game, enjoyable game. I probably read it differently from what a lot of the Monaghan supporters would have been saying. Yeah, exactly.
No way.
Exactly.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. So. I didn't see too much diving. I saw one or two crude chances. Colin Boyle was lifted like unbelievably towards the end. I thought he broke his ribs. I think it was a dead leg he got at the end, but he was clattered. He was, and anyway, he was excellent in the day as well.
Mayo won. That's the important part.
Mayo won. Yeah, Mayo won.
2 points, Kev, as you know, not 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you planning to get around to a few of these games?
Yeah, I'll get to a few. I'll hopefully get to the Galway game in a couple of weeks' time over in Galway. I can't go to the Kerry game this week. Won't be able to make that one. I'm actually with Nathan on the Sunday at Liverpool, I think, and Tottenham, so that's why I won't be able to make that one. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting a few games I can. But it was great to get to it anyway. It was brilliant. Yeah, okay. Really enjoyed it. Enjoyable. Yeah,
we will have Anthony Nash, the Cork goalkeeper, on the GA front in studio in about 15-20 minutes' time. Richie, where are you starting?
We'll start with today's Ireland press conference. Joe Schmidt, no injury concerns out of the start of Ireland's Six Nations campaign. Doubts over Jacob Stockdale's fitness have been eased after he showed no ill effects from a dead leg suffered in Ulster's loss to the Wasps last week. Prop Dave Kilcoyne, though, will remain with Munster as he continues to rehab from a knee injury. Schmidt has competition for places in pretty much every member of his starting 15 for the trip to France, not least a full-back after Jordan Larmour's emergence this season. His Leinster teammate Rob Kearney can think of one way of accommodating the 20-year-old.
I just think he's a flat-out winger. If only. Listen, I suppose throughout my whole career, I've always been in some pretty heavy battles with a lot of 15s. I could list them right off: Felix, Lukey, Jordan Murphy, Gervin. And then Zeebs over the last few years, and there's always been a lot of really good players that I've been vying for the jerseys with. So I've been as impressed as anyone else of some of the stuff he's done over the last couple of months.
The French squad, meanwhile, are struggling with an outbreak of gastroenteritis. Captain Guillaume Garrado, the latest to be struck down and didn't train today. Bordeaux prop Jefferson Poirot was also sidelined today, and that's after Baptiste Sarin suffered the same fate at the weekend. All three, though, are likely to train later on in the week.
Yeah, Eddie O'Sullivan and Owen Redden on the way after 8 o'clock on Monday Night Rugby. The good Seamus Coleman news continues.
Yeah, it does. He could make his Premier League return on Wednesday. The Ireland captain has been included in the Everton squad for the visit of Leicester to Goodison Park. Coleman came through almost an hour of Everton under-23s outing against Portsmouth last week after 10 months out with that double leg break, and his manager Sam Allardyce says it's a boost to the squad to have Coleman back involved.
Touchwood, hopefully from here on in he can have an injury-free run till the end of the season. A very important player, as we all know, and from my personal point of view, even when he does play in the team, you know, he needs time. He's been out an awful long time, as the same with Yannick Bolasie. Such a long period of time out that can't be expected to hit his top form immediately, but very important to have him back. His influence, not just as a player, but I think as a person and as a human being.
Kev, at this level, Premier League level, assuming the leg feels fine and he's not having any reaction to it, what's the hardest thing to get right when you're coming back from a long layoff?
Yeah, I mean, again, fortunately, it didn't really happen. But speaking to lads when they have that type of injury, or certainly a long layoff, it's the mental side, I think. And if anyone would have seen, there was a clip that was going around on Twitter last week, Seamus Coleman flying into a tackle with one of the Portsmouth under-23 players, and he spoke about it afterwards to say that was more just for me from a mental side. I had to go through that, go to a heavy tackle straight away in that game, almost from that mental perspective. Yeah,
and even beyond that, is it your touch? Is it your fitness?
Touch, most definitely, yeah. I mean, as you might point out, my touch was probably never there, Joe.
It took you about 10 years after one injury to get it right.
20 years was it, someone said. 20 years, it still wasn't quite
there. But I would have thought, like,
no, but it is.
Does your touch not come back pretty quickly, no?
Touch and everything. It's just, you feel strange getting back. I think certainly training with the team initially, when you're getting back onto the training ground, doing the little drills that you would normally just take for granted, all those little things just take that little bit more time to get used to it. And then your fitness levels, because I think you'd probably go and outrun anyone on a pitch doing any sort of running, because your fitness levels are that high. But as soon as you get back to doing those little sharp 2 and 3 yard movements, you start to feel that fatigue in your leg. And any sportsman or woman that have been out for a long time would certainly appreciate that. When you get back to doing the things that you've not necessarily been doing on a consistent basis, that's when you start to feel that your lungs start to fill up, and you need to get like that extra game time. It goes longer and longer every day, every training session, before you start to feel that fatigue. Okay. But you get through it, and that'll be the same with Seamus Coleman. He goes back and plays. Now he's probably up to speed from a training perspective, but more so now when he plays the game. The first 2 or 3 games, it'll be quite tiring for him. Yeah.
Okay. Some transfer news, Rich.
Lots of it this evening as well. Manchester City close to making Aymeric Laporte the second most expensive defender of all time. His club Athletic Bilbao today confirmed his €65 million release clause had been met, and Laporte has also penned a farewell note to their fans. City are likely to confirm a 5-year deal for Laporte tomorrow. Meanwhile, City forward Leroy Sané faces a lengthy spell on the sidelines. The German suffered ankle ligament damage following a challenge from Cardiff's Joe Bennett during yesterday's FA Cup 4th round tie. City haven't put a timeline for Sané's recovery.
This was a dreadful tackle, even if you've just seen the photo of it.
Yeah,
it's really bad. So Neil Warnock was asked about it afterwards in the press conference, and he said it was merely an English tackle, even though he's the Cardiff manager and they're in Cardiff. He said, "You're in England." But we'll let him away with that. And he said, and they dished it out a bit too. They had 1 or 2 naughty tackles, but he's in England. What do you expect?
Well, Joe Bennett has released a statement himself today, hasn't he? He's apologised, and what he's saying basically, he's just trying to get back goal side. He's just kind of lunged at him, trying to stop the flow of the attack, and he's just caught him at the wrong angle. That's the sort of thing that does happen. But it looks so bad initially when I'd seen it in the game, and the pictures don't do it any justice as well.
Looks like a broken leg.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, broken ankle at the very least, with his ankle rolling the way that it is.
Warnock did an interview, I was saying to Richie yesterday, with Ollie Holt in the Mail on Sunday, like a sit-down interview ahead of the game.
Yeah,
and
imagine, he loves it, doesn't he? He loves that limelight around
it. He absolutely loved the limelight, to the point where he was saying, where when I kick it and they have a minute's silence or applause for me, like I love that he. He's pretty sure he's getting one.
Yeah,
he's getting one. He's like, I wouldn't want a minute's silence. Me, I'd like them all to sing Neil Warnock is a blanker. That's what he wants.
Does he?
Yeah, he wants a Neil Warnock is a W chant to go.
I don't think he even needed to put that in writing. I think that was going to be a given anyway.
I said to Richie, I did read that and think, do you know what? There's actually a good enough chance you'll get that.
Well, now he said it. It'll certainly be sang, won't it?
Looking more and more likely that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang will be an Arsenal player before the close of the transfer window. It's understood Arsenal have agreed a fee with Borussia Dortmund for the Gabon striker, believed to be a club record €63 million. Dortmund are believed to want a replacement before confirming the deal. That could well be Chelsea's Michy Batshuayi. Meanwhile, it seems as if Chelsea could well sign Olivier Giroud on loan from Arsenal as part of the deal that would see Aubameyang arrive. And after being linked with the likes of Inter and Sevilla, Daniel Sturridge is instead heading for West Brom, it seems. The out-of-favour Liverpool striker expected to join the Premier League strugglers on loan. It's believed he cited family reasons for wanting that move. Newcastle were also said to be interested in Sturridge's signature. One loan signing West Brom have completed today, that of Egypt defender Ali Gabr. He joins from Zamalek and will partner his international teammate Ahmed Hegazi.
How highly do you rate Aubameyang?
Yeah, very, very much so. Yeah, pace, stretches defences. I don't know how he's going to fit both Aubameyang and what's the striker? Lacazette. Sorry, I get it right. I don't know how he's going to fit those two into the same side. Both like to have the same sort of movement. I don't think either of them are sort of the sort of player that are brilliant with the back to goal. So you've paid 50 million, whatever it was, for both these strikers. It's going to be. I don't know how he's going to fit them both into the side. Certainly with Lacazette. Lacazette at times has looked good. He hasn't been consistent, I don't think, across the course of the full season, but he's looked good at times. This is now a big one for Wenger, I think. And you would imagine the longer it goes, the way Arsenal always play one up front, that's where they've always played one central striker, or certainly in the last few years. How is he going to fit them both in? I don't know. I think it's certainly with Drew leaving as well, it's only going to be a place for one of them.
Okay,
we'll see how that one goes.
Someone's wondering, any chance Kevin might take in a Longford game or Longford Town game in the coming months? We're not entirely giving up on our claim to Kevin here in Longford, even though he's firmly in the Mayo camp. Have you Longford family?
My mum's from Longford.
Is she?
Yeah, you know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I knew your dad was Mayo.
Yeah.
Your mum's Longford.
Yeah.
Well, then it's a bit much you jumping on the Mayo bandwagon to the extent that you have.
There's more chances. There's more chance for Sam, is it?
You haven't mentioned Longford once in here.
Pardon?
Not once have you mentioned Longford in here.
Yes, I have, Joe. I've told you many a time. Joe, you just don't listen to what I'm saying to you half the time. I've told you many a time I'm on.
Who did Longford play in GAA over the weekend?
Oh, I don't know. They won though. They did win. I saw it that they win. I heard the result roundup.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Don't know. I don't know.
Well, maybe it's time you took in a Longford game then.
Yeah.
They haven't given up on you. You've given up on them.
I have said before. I have said that I do support Longford Town League of Ireland
down there in Division 1.
Yeah,
you'll be doing all right this year.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
I will say as well, I forgot to get my stat out as well.
Oh yeah, sorry. Go on.
Get your stat out, Kev.
Great stat.
Get your stat out.
Do you know what happened the last time Mayo senior men and women and the hurlers all won on the same day? Do you know what happened?
Hang on.
You were born.
Do you know what happened?
Mayo senior footballers, hurlers, and women won on the same day. When you say what happened?
What happened in that year? What happened? They went on to win Sam Maguire.
All three of them?
Yeah.
No,
that's what happened when they last all won on the same day. When they last all won on the same day that year, Mayo went on to win Sam Maguire.
The Mayo senior footballers.
Mm-hmm.
So 1951.
That's some top-notch straw clutching there, Kev.
There you go.
And that's just happened over the weekend.
How's that for you? Yeah. There you go. Hey.
Remember this moment.
How about that for you?
We're going to be playing this in September.
August. Well, it'll be September this year.
Yeah.
Wow. That's spooky.
Yeah. There you go.
Right. Chelsea's proposed double rate of Roma has been cut in half. They will sign Emerson Palmieri for an initial fee of £20 million plus sundry add-ons, but a move for Edin Dzeko appears to be off as the Bosnian striker has failed to secure the wages and the contract terms that he wanted from Chelsea. Tottenham have agreed a £25 million fee with Paris Saint-Germain for midfielder Lucas Moura. With personal terms already agreed, it's thought only the structure of the payments needs to be sorted between the clubs. Moura is eligible to play in Spurs' Champions League campaign. Golf, and Jason Day has won the Farmers Insurance Open. He birdied the delayed sixth playoff hole today, where Alex Noren could only manage a bogey. It's the second time that the Aussie has won that particular tournament. While Saturday evening's defeat of the Dublin Hurlers has helped part the clouds over Offaly, that is according to Daithí Regan. The faithful picked up their first Croke Park win since 2005 and the first league win at HQ since 1991 with a 225-115 win over Pat Gilroy side. Speaking on this morning's OTB AM, Offaly legend Daithí Regan told Ger and Owen that Kevin Martin has impressed with the work he's done early on.
You know, we know it's going to take a long way, but we have a solid man. We have a really solid man. And the difference is, He's not there for Kevin Martin, he's there for Offaly Hurling. And I felt the previous guys were there when they realised that we weren't up to the levels that maybe they thought we were at before they came in. They went ultra defensive and ultimately last year played with 2 extra defenders. And to me that was wrong, because it was about protecting their own reputation going forward in the management roundabout. Whereas with Kevin, it's not about him or his ego. It's about Offaly and doing the right thing for the culture and for the boys that he's with. So one swallow doesn't make a summer, but by God, Saturday night we all enjoyed it.
Yeah, they certainly did. Michael Digland's tweet amongst those enjoying it. A few tears in his eyes.
Sure, when you haven't won at Kroger since 2005, and that was like a relegation playoff against Antrim, it's just cause to enjoy it at least.
Absolutely, why not? Life's too short. So that is our news round for this evening. We're taking a short break. We have the Cork goalkeeper Anthony Nash in studio next, followed by Monday Night Rugby. Then we'll talk golf and Pat Nevin on the football show. It's all on the way.
Off the Ball on News Talk.
In association with the Air Sport app, allowing you to cast your favourite sporting action from your tablet or mobile phone straight to your TV.
Book now with the new hotel booking website, RyanairRooms.com. You can choose from 1 million rooms worldwide, from 3 to 5 star hotels. There's free cancellation rates on most, and we're the only